Hey, I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe, please hit like, and let's talk about this crazy tool that's in front of you. This tool is called a letdown tool. I should say that I've let my wife down lots of times over the years, and she's also called me a tool a few times, so I could in fact be a letdown tool. But this is an actual professional letdown tool, and it was given to me as a gift by a gentleman named Paul. I'll just use the first names, and Paul, if you're watching this, I hope, thank you very much. This is a very kind gift because Paul knows that I play guitar and he doesn't want me to lose my fingers. And the way I was letting down the power of a mainspring of a clock was a good way to lose some fingers, or at least skin them really nicely. This, my friends, is a Mappin and Webb carriage clock. It's from the early 1900s. It's a very beautiful carriage clock. It has a platform balance on the top, and I tend to do a little maintenance occasionally for some of my clock buddies on platform balances. This is a relatively new platform balance and probably was replaced within this old vintage carriage clock. And the carriage clock has nice glass on the side so you can see through it. But that little beastie down in the middle there, let me point at him, see if I can point at that here. That little beastie right there is the mainspring barrel. So this mainspring barrel is pretty big. If you can kind of visualize my tweezers here, you're looking at almost an inch across here for this mainspring barrel. This means the spring in there is around an inch wide. So your normal pocket watch mainspring is this wide. So you look at the width of that mainspring and look at that barrel and start multiplying it as you go this way, and you can see how much mainspring you have in there. That is a lot of power, a lot of power. And I told someone years ago the reason I work on watches and pocket watches is because I want to keep my fingers. I want to keep my fingers because I heard that you can lose a finger with a mainspring on a watch, or a clock rather. So maybe you can't lose all your fingers on one of these carriage clocks, but you can probably do some significant damage. And let me show you how that happens. So the carriage clock, little door in the back here, you open this door up. Which side is the door on? There it is. You open the door up and there's a key. There's the key for the carriage clock. And this is the key you use to wind the carriage clock and set the carriage clock. And here is the arbor for the click. Now I'm going to lean over, I apologize for this, and you put it in like this, right? Now when you wind the watch, all good, all safe on the northern front. So you just turn that like that, make sure the click is in place, and that's the click right on the bottom right there that tends to click. And then you just turn it and it goes counterclockwise, and you ride it back and make sure the click sets into the tooth so you don't have any fallback or spring back. Now when you let down the power of one of these things, what I was doing, and the boys told me, JD, this is really dangerous what you're doing, right? Because they've also been skinned. This little lever here is what's going to take your finger off, or your fingernail, or skin you really bad. Because if for some reason this click doesn't engage or doesn't work properly, or you just accidentally slip while you're doing this, it'll rip you off, or your finger off. So, and what you're doing there is you're taking some pressure off of this, and then with the toothpick or something, you're pushing, and I'm not going to do this because I know I'll skin my finger, right? You're pushing down on the click spring. See how it just rides down a bit? You're pushing down, getting it out of the way, and then very carefully using your hand to relieve the power. And then you're letting it connect again, and then using your hand again to relieve the power. And you're doing it over and over and over again. And there's a chance that you slip. And if you slip, this thing will just go crazy on you. Or when you relieve the power on it, the click spring breaks. This little click spring, this little dark spring down here breaks, or the spring that shoots it back up into the teeth breaks. And if that spring that shoots it into the teeth breaks, and at the wrong moment you think that it's connected, this thing will spin like a, I need an analogy, like a propeller on a World War II mosquito aircraft. There you go. So it's dangerous as hell. So Paul came to my house after doing some work on a carriage clock. I did some work on the balance of one of the carriage clocks he gave me to work on. It was from France. I made a video on the carriage clock, I think. And he said, he came to my door and he had his little bag, and the bag had two things in it. One thing is he got me proper keys for winding these clocks. These are big ones too, right? So I think he's trying to convince me this is made in India. Da, 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 da. Anyway, sorry. That's my Indian. So I do know Humpty Dumpty in Urdu. So Humpty Dumpty chariya tut, Humpty Dumpty chariya foot. Sabraja kadadmi, sabraja kagora, Humpty Dumpty ni binijora. There you go. There's some useful information for you. So he gave me these, and their size too, as it says there, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that's probably 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 7, 8, 9, 10. So I suspect two different sizes for different side clocks, but this is for winding. So thank you very much, Paul. And then he provided me another tool. So here, I'll just put this over on the side here a little bit, and let me grab the tool here. So these are the bits for the tool. These are the bits. So this is called a letdown tool. There it is there, and there it is there. I think this is a vintage, probably a good quality letdown tool. It looks like it's a good quality letdown tool. And it has numbers on it, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I imagine there's a 9. Maybe there isn't. But I notice on the numbers they're facing the correct way, so when you put it in, you can see the right number. But here the 5 is, the bottom of the 5 is facing the bottom of the 6. The top of the 4 is facing the top of the 3. Yeah, that's right. Something like that. Anyway, maybe they're not consistent, but these are the keys, anyway, for the letdown tool. And then the letdown tool has a handle. And you can imagine that the key I showed you before matches to one of these, probably a 6, a 5, or a 6, one of these here. And so if I were to take this tool, and let me just interface this with the arbor, the key winding arbor here, and see if this one fits. And yes, it does. So this one here fits, and you could wind this with this, but I don't want to do that because I'm going to saw my fingers off again, and I'm a guitar player, as you probably know. But this one fits. I think this one also fits. This one fits actually tighter. So that is a 5. The other one was a 6. So the 5 fits perfectly. Yeah, that fits absolutely perfectly. It's snug, as they say. Snug as a bug in a rug. But this is no good without a grip, right? So this would replace this, and then the grip is this handle. So the tool goes in to the handle. So if this is a 5, it goes into the handle like that, fits in, and in the handle there's a little spring on the side which holds it in place. There's that spring. All right, there it is. There it is. You see that little spring that just pushes out, and that holds that in place. Can I get a light on my camera? Can I get a light? Oh, I can get a light. Look at that. So there's the spring on the inside, and that holds that in place. So I put that in. There's no way of doing it. There's no marker there. You just do this and you push it in. And a lot of the metal on this goes into the handle, right? And this is like a screwdriver handle. Pretty strong. It's not going to bust like that. So you push that in like this. And then I'll just get rid of all these things here. And this is replacing this key here. And hopefully I had the right number facing up. Yep, there it is. The number 5 is facing me. And if I turn this the other way around, the number 6 is facing me. So aren't they smart tool makers? So this is the don't screw your fingers up device. And so now, if I'm letting down the clock, and I'm going to move my camera so you can see this. It's just amazingly exciting, I know. So the first thing I need to do is keep the door open for this video with a blob of old Rodico. See if this works. This is stuff you could find on the street. And look at that, Rodico. Another good use of Rodico is to keep a door open. There you go. Rodico is man's best friend. Duct tape is sort of man's best friend, but Rodico is man's second best friend. So here now I've got this. I've got a good grip on this with the handle here. And when I turn it, it's just so easy. It winds. Look at that. Winding no problem. And now I'll bet you, hold on to this here, and I bet you I'm probably going to do this wrong, but, and if I take my back of my screwdriver and just do this and then pull up on the lever, I can now let this down very carefully under extreme control. Look at that. That is under really good control. So now I get a little power on it, push up on the little lever, and then under control. And I want to keep my fingers out of here while I'm doing that, because just in case this thing does go, it's not going to go in your hand. You've got a good grip on this thing. So there's really no reason to be afraid, but you can let the clock down now. And I could probably do it more, but the mat's kind of in my way. So you can let the clock down. You can also wind it safely. So this is the let down tool. So I highly recommend for you to either find a friend like I did who's willing to know how stupid you are and give you one. That's what I did. So thanks, Paul. Recognizing my ignorance, he said he was thinking to himself, that JD guy is going to lose his fingers the way he's letting down the clock. He shouldn't be doing it that way because he's going to kill himself and he'll be stubby. That'll be his nickname. Will be stubby. He'll be giving me the finger like that. So he was nice and came to my door with this gift. If you can't get it, a gift gifted to you, then go to Esslinger or one of the cousinsuk.com. All of those stores have letdown tools, I'm sure. Not sure if I'd recommend letdown tools from China, although some of those stores get them from China. So it's not saying that there isn't quality stuff in China. Like my hand setter I've done videos on is from China. It's very good. So the folks from China do make good stuff. It was maybe 50 years ago where people were saying, it's made in China, it's no good. That's wrong. China's very automated. It's very their industrial processes are right on the money. I buy a lot of stuff from China that's very good. So, but India, on the other hand, sometimes they're questionable. But anyway, get it online, or go to your local clock watch dealer, or go to eBay. But find a nice letdown tool and use it. So thanks a lot. That's the video for today, the letdown tool. So hopefully this video didn't let you down.